to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. If you can be able to get close to the ODM transaction wing, you can whisper to them that wajinga walisha Kenya. Wajinga walisha Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, I did an analysis here on Sunday, and I said Ida Odinga must chase some oligarchs that now wants to coalesce around Raila Odinga so that they can plot his next course of action. I don't know whether you can remember that video. If you remember that video, then you're a legend. And I said that this is the time that President Ruto will craft schemes and all manner of tricks to remote control what Raila does next. Because as things stand, if Raila is not going to support him, then his 2024 bid, his 2027 bid is going down. And so in this podcast, I want to repeat Wajinga Waliisha Kenya. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click notification bell, and like our videos. And I want to say thank you very much for those who are supporting this podcast and those who are also supporting our projects. Kindly subscribe. When you subscribe, you shall be able to receive notifications whenever we publish a video. William Ruto and allegedly on Monday afternoon met with the allies of Raila Odinga from Parliament and struck a deal that also included shelving the plan to impeach Moses Masika Wetangula. And this is after the Azimio side had threatened to take a motion of impeachment against Wetangula. And William Ruto understands that there are quite a number of disgruntled MPs that will support such a motion. So they reached a deal for House changes of the House Leadership Committee, so that there's some committees that were chaired by Kenya Kwanza Alliance and especially allies of impeached Rigathi Gachagua, they are going to lose those leadership of those committees to Azimio la Umoja and majorly the ODM wing. So on Monday afternoon, a meeting was held in Statehouse, Nairobi, attended by Kindiki, CS Interior Kipchumba Murkomen, Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheriot, Minority Counterpart Stewart Madzayo, National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, Junet Mohammed, and Minority Whip Millie Odhiambo, but not the others were left out. Kalwale in the National Assembly, Osoro, Sabina Chege were all left out. From that meeting, it was agreed that Azimio will be allowed to chair some critical House committees. These critical House committees include Azimio taking lead in the powerful Budget and Appropriation Committee, Health, Trade and Industry, Labor, and Regional Integration. The Budget Committee was chaired by Ndindi Nyoro Kimani, by Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro. Health Committee was chaired by Endebess MP Robert Pukose. Labor was for Runyenjes Eric Karemba. Regional Integration is going to be taken from Wanjiku Muhia Kipipiri. Trade and Industry Committee is chaired by Embakasi North David Gakuya. So they're going to lose leadership of that committee, of those committees. Azimio also had been handed a blank check to appoint 5 vice chairs of committees of their choice. President Ruto told Azimio leadership to decide on these committees and present the names by Wednesday afternoon. And that also included shelving the plan to take over to impeach Moses Wetangula. And of course, From that meeting, remember Raila is not even yet in the country, has not come back. And from that meeting, we saw what happened in Parliament today. Members of Parliament went to Parliament today, and with two messages. I want you to listen to those who think. There is a speech from Junet, who are saying that those who celebrated Raila Odinga's loss, he used some unkind words against them.
I don't expect people to celebrate the loss of a Kenyan in an international contest. It's a shame. Whichever you are, you cannot celebrate the loss of a Kenyan in an international contest. I repeat again. You cannot do that. We should be annoyed with the people who defeated us. And we are not annoyed with them also. We are congratulating them for doing a good job. Because African Union belongs to all of us. As a nation, we are part of the African Union. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I wish to second and warn the naysayers that you should avoid that kind of thing going forward in future. Mr. Speaker, because if you are going to oppose a Kenyan because of his political affiliation, because of domestic issues, it's a very primitive way of looking at things. And I know some of the people, why we impeach them also, it was not in the impeachment paper, but it's primitivity. Some of them are very primitive people. Village mentality. You know, people want to go to international organizations. Instead of supporting them, you are judging them on the basis of what happens in a village, Mr. Speaker. I'm very sad about that. I do not expect people to celebrate the loss of a Kenyan in an international contest. It's a shame. Whichever you are, you cannot celebrate the loss of a Kenyan in an international contest. I repeat again. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Now, if our athlete loses in a contest now, in the New York Marathon or in the London Marathon, you expect me to celebrate? Because it's not from my community. It's not from my region. It's not from my religion. It's not from my village. It's not from my what? Shame on you.
And I would want to remind Junet, wajingwalisha Kenya, that I don't know what is the difference. When the parliament converged to impeach Rigathi, they celebrated. No one took an issue with their celebration. They rubber-stamped a flawed process to impeach Rigathi Gachagua, and they celebrated. They celebrated. There was a time Raila lost. This is not the first election that Raila is losing. Raila lost an election in 2022. There was a celebration from all other parts of the country except Raila supporters, and no one took an issue with them. So the act of calling who celebrated as primitive to my end, but of course you understand the end game. The end game is to create some acrimony. It's not going to work. Then there comes Lillian Gogo.
And for all I care, William, any time that you are going to call on us, William, I'm telling you this, William. Anytime you are going to call on us, William, I saw you. Nobody told me. I saw with my two eyes. Riding in the same vehicle with Baba, our Baba Uonoa. William, thank you very much. And when you want us, William, when you call on us, William, we saw you. We saw what you did to our very own. Somebody we value. Somebody Kenya values. Somebody who's gone through so much for this country. Somebody who sacrifices. Somebody who is not a tribalist. Somebody who has given so much for the great Republic of Kenya. And William, you came. And William, you were there for Baba. And William, you talked to us. And you are so humble. William Nyasachiel William. Willie, I'm telling you what you did to Baba. What you did to our son, William, we saw you. And the way you were there. And the way Kenyans were mourning. And the way we were grieving. And both of you stood and talked to us in the evening in Addis. William, leave that gender thing alone first. I'm just congratulating William. And I want to tell you, William, just unite Kenyans. William, please put Kenyans together. That is the only direction that we want. I'm talking to President William Ruto, William Samoei.
Nimesikia watu wakisema eti Ruto amesimama na baba. Ruto amesimama na baba kwa hii muda tu mfupi. Sijui, I don't know how many months. Na lose. Kalonzo amesimama na baba for how long? For how many years? They have been losing. So the outcome is still the same. Kalonzo and Ruto are still the same. They have no effect on Baba. So you can't come here and tell us that Ruto has stood with Baba for this AUC so that Ruto is going to be elected for 10 years. It does not make sense. So Baba should be fair. The propaganda they are coming with that Ruto stood with Baba for this AUC seat does not make sense as compared to how Kalonzo stood with Baba.
What we can request Baba to do once he lands back to Kenya, he should put down the political pressure down by coming, declaring somebody to take the wheel of the role he was playing. I don't expect Baba to come back again to challenge the people at his Mara, vijana nini. He should take a neutral stand by the time he's getting back to the country, since he has failed us. He has really disappointed me, and not only me, plus other people who are supporting Baba. You've really failed us.
Who is saying that because he saw Ruto sharing a car with Raila, so Raila's supporters should vote for Ruto. Listen to that. There is quite a feedback hapo. Hawa vijana wanamwambia, so surely Lilian Gogo wants the country to vote for William Ruto, Raila supporters to vote for William Ruto, simply because he saw Ruto walking around in that hall trying to talk to African president. And they want to tell the country that Ruto supported Raila there. That support you cannot compare with Kalonzo Musyoka's 15 years supporting Raila Odinga. Wajinga walisha bana. Wajinga walisha. I'm wondering. So you want to compare that because of sharing a car. So the whole country should forget about the Kenya Kwanza policies. The whole country should forget about herself. The other day she was complaining about SHA. But because the president shared a car with Raila in Addis Ababa, so the country should not think about SHA. Come on. The politicians must know. The elite, I don't like calling them elite. These politicians must actually know that some of these things are not going to hold. And even before and just to remind her better, look at this. This was one. Let me look at this. This was March 2023. Raila Odinga claimed on Tuesday night that President Ruto had asked the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki, to sack him as the African Union's High Representative for Infrastructure Development. This was a time there was such a summit in Addis Ababa. And when the information that came there that Raila lost his position as AU Infrastructure Envoy, and it was Raila himself admitted that it is William Ruto who influenced that decision for him to lose that seat. And he lost it. So from there, you cannot say, so there is a short excitement. And this transaction wing wants us to believe that what they are telling us is the only thing that we should actually take. Listen to Opondo Kaluma.
For those who think that there would be any
squabbles between us out of this contest. I've seen naysayers thinking so. Honorable Speaker, let me tell you, we are going to hold the hands of President William Ruto more firmer. I would be happy, Honorable Speaker, for that day when whichever Kenya it is, as we have been doing with sports, contesting for anything outside of our border, we forget about where we come from, the communities we come from, and we all rally behind them. And so I'm requesting the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and President William Ruto that this AUC contest is something we need to build on and to unite this country and create one prosperous, equitable, fair country in which all of us are proud to be Kenyan. Honorable Speaker, when I returned, I was met by some media people who were asking, now, are you going to stop supporting the administration? It is the patriotic duty of all Kenyans to support the government in place. And I wanted to tell those people that I happen to be from the community of Right Honorable Raila Odinga. I can tell you, in the enterprise of building one Kenya, count on Raila to join hands and to continue to the end with President William Ruto. For those who think that there would be any squabbles between us out of this contest, I've seen naysayers thinking so. Honorable Speaker, let me tell you, we are going to hold the hands of President William Ruto more firmer to build one united country.
I did caution Raila, and I said this, that clearly, there is a wing that is going to push that narrative. These are the fellows that should not come near Raila. They went to Statehouse. When you go to Statehouse, they're given some little money there, some few provisions. Oh, wewe kaa hapa, utaongea na huyu atakupea tenda, utakaa huku. You know, the state has all the machineries on the machinations of manipulating people. Now, because they have been manipulated there for some few fortunes here and there, so they come and say, you know, we now need to. That kind of thinking is there. And I'm not saying Raila cannot support William Ruto, but I still believe that the country should not lose sight. The country should not lose focus on asking the most critically important questions. Those questions, it is not bad to ask those questions. The country must ask. The country should ask. It is not too much to ask for. In fact, I like this analysis from Caleb Hamisi. The deep state of Nusumkate, Kibaki Raila government never made Baba a president. This is Caleb Hamisi saying. The deep state Uhuru government never made Baba presidency. The very deep state of Ruto government has not given Baba AUC position. But the people of Kenya without deep state gave Raila the presidency in 2007, in 2008, that was snatched away at night in the old constitution. Verily, verily, I say unto you, Baba must leave the deep state latest February 2026 and experience the wonderful results. In the new constitutional order, a deep state is a moribund, and the sovereign power of the people reigns supreme. There is a clique of oligarchs who are riding on some imaginary power that President Ruto have. And so they believe, there is a belief that if we support Ruto, we shall be in government. And I'm saying that for the record, in this tweet, that is a trap. And Raila Odinga should not fall for that trap. Raila Odinga should not fall for that trap. Tomorrow, I will look at that. The MPs are in Parliament. Junet is taking an issue because someone celebrated. Even in Kisumu, people are celebrating. Now, what we should even remind Junet, in Kisumu, what about those people who are singing Ruto must go? Yes. In Kisumu, immediately Raila lost. There are people who said Ruto must go. But because now you want to shock the emotions and behave as if now, I still insist Ruto did nothing. Election of AUC is not on sharing a car with Raila. No, We did not see that Djibouti president sharing a car with their president. No. It's not about walking in that hall last minute trying to beg, oh, vote for Raila. We are not even sure he was telling those presidents to vote for Raila. He was just trying to greet everyone. No. That election is a software. I still believe Kenya did not have a chance to win. We were not even supposed to have a candidate. I still believe it is not so clear we had the best candidate. At 80 years. I still believe that President Ruto never campaigned for Raila. And why this is a trap is this. They are going to carry the Ruto baggage and punching bag in 2027. Let me tell you. They've taken everything. If Neil and CS2 watu walipewa, I'm telling you, some 2 months ago, Joho, Opeondai, and Badi, before they were told to slow down, hey, those people were in the moon. Now the same thing is happening. Ruto is going to plant another president worship team there. And the moment he does that, in any case, they will chart a different path. They will carry the Ruto baggage. They're the ones that are going to carry the Ruto baggage. I think with the level of hate that Raila experienced because of supporting President Ruto, it was already enough warning call. It is enough warning for the current breed of politicians we have that associating with President Ruto is disastrous because it is his problem. He has a deeper problem than what we are looking at. Raila is being blackmailed for another Ruto tosha, and that will be the culmination of hate. I'm telling you, it will not be business as usual. I'm wondering how Raila will defend a Ruto tosha when Kalonzo is on the ballot. I don't know. My conscience won't allow me, and your conscience will not allow you. If it is the politics of endorsement, I'm wondering. So what does Ruto tosha mean if Kalonzo is in the ballot? Kalonzo 2013, 2017, 2022. Then you come up and tell us Ruto tosha. And that is the kind of blackmail that these MPs are pushing Raila into. And one thing they want, they're part of the team destroying that Raila legacy. Then it will be hated like, I don't know. In fact, let me tell you, you know what President Ruto wants? He wants to get another opportunity to make more comfortable rounds in Nyanza, not even showing the projects he's done, but another round launching with another empty rhetoric. If he has given them, he will go to Nyanza with some inspection, and no one will ask him, Mr. President, you were in Homa Bay the other day. You commissioned XYZ. How far are they? That is the question. Now, with this kind of environment being created, Ruto is, I'm sure Ruto is going to Nyanza next. There's another Nyanza tour coming. And that Nyanza tour will happen because he wants to get that opportunity, soft landing, simply because now people have gotten comfort. Wajingo walisha Kenya. No. And this issue of setting people, us versus them, is not going to work. I saw that transaction wing in Parliament. You saw the Gogo, especially this team from Homa Bay, Gogo, Kaluma, who is this, the Melio de Ambo, even those ones. So it's not going to be business as usual. Chukua tu pesa, chukua pesa, but let the people also, allow the people to make the judgment based on what has been done. I think that should be the principal focus. But because Ruto alitoka kwa gari na Raila, so William, those emotional cards are not going to work because people are not going to buy those shenanigans. Those emotional cards being played. No, haiwezi bana. Haiwezi.